What's fun at MCLL is the age of the participants means that they've seen movies and they know movies and they have things that they love, and it could be from other cultures or other countries. And so often the discussions are really interesting and fun. Hi, I'm Dan Babineau. I've been at MCLL here for 2 years, I guess. The study group I'm pitching for fall is called How Movies Are Made. And it's a filmmaking course for people who probably won't make a film, but who love movies, and that's most people. And I know from experience that most people have lots of questions about what goes on behind the scenes. And so what I'm bringing is 30 plus years of teaching film, and previous to that, filmmaking, with knowledge of all the different aspects of what goes into making a film. Well, when we shoot a film, we start with usually a written script. Somebody has to break it down into how are we going to film it, which is a storyboard with drawings that show where the camera will be for everything. And so what I would look at in the class is, how do you decide where does the camera go at each moment of your story, and what difference does it make to go to a close-up or a long shot or a different angle or whatever, and why do people do that? Films are made typically with one camera, and when we watch it, we see it switching all over the place to different angles, but they're not shooting with many cameras. So they have to shoot it piece by piece and overlap and make it fit together as though it was filmed with many cameras, but it wasn't. And that imposes on the filmmakers all sorts of details about, making sure the lighting matches and the sound matches, and the actors have to repeat exactly the same movements and so on, which most people don't realize or don't pay attention to when they're watching the film, unless there's a mistake, an error of some kind. The sound is highly manipulated. We record usually only the voice of the actors, and everything else is added later, but at volumes so that we can hear what's being said, so all adjusted according to the taste of the filmmaker, not according to real life. Music is added and written in, or records are used or whatever. We look at all of this stuff. The film is edited, cut up, and not just mistakes taken out, but actually changed and modified according to the feelings that they want and so on. And so all of this stuff is typically fascinating for people. Because I was a teacher previously, I have material that I prepared for classes, so I have PowerPoints and lots of diagrams and pictures and so on, and of course clips from films, and everybody loves seeing their favorite moments from films or powerful moments from films, and these days it's quite easy to access almost any film that's been made. What's fun at MCLL is the age of the participants means that they've seen movies and they know movies and they have things that they love, and it could be from other cultures or other countries. And so often the discussions are really interesting and fun, and people bring up films. Oh, I haven't thought about that film in years. What a great film that is, and so on. And so there's a sharing of cinema culture that is much richer than I experienced when I was teaching teenagers, that I love and I relish very much. Teaching teenagers is, of course, very rewarding, and you get to see the light go on in their eyes when they find their passion or realize something, and that's wonderful. But often they don't know a whole lot of stuff, and you find yourself explaining things that you never thought you would need to explain. And so it's fun to be in a room with people who are passionate, who've got a long history, who've related to film all their life and have their own things that they'll bring into the room. And I just love it. I absolutely love it. And almost every detail that we've talked about, somebody in the group brings up a film that I haven't thought of, or a moment that I had forgotten, that I'm happy to be reminded of. I had a woman in my class, in my study group of a year and a half ago, I guess, who came from Prague and talked about her experience after the war being courted by her husband and going to see American movies in the cinema after the ban was lifted and the war was over and stuff. And I thought, boy, this is not something I would hear teaching regular classes. It was fun. We talked about unusual choices of music in films, and somebody mentioned The Third Man with the wonderful zither music by Alex Cordes, I think his name is. That's so memorable and so unusual and so striking when you hear it, that I had completely forgotten about also, you know. So those are some of the little things that you know, I hear now and again in class that make me happy that I'm there and doing it. I invite you to participate, and I hope to see you in the fall.